remarks on behalf of CBM, and I do this alongside our valued partner, the International Disability Alliance. It's also very nice to see a few familiar faces from our joint event at the Global Disability Summit earlier this year. The 2025 Global Disability Summit reaffirmed something we all know to be true, that transformative change towards disability inclusion depends not only on formal commitments, but first and foremost, it depends on political leadership that turns those commitments into actions. And parliamentarians all over the world, you hold the keys to that transformation through legislation, through budget decisions, through tracking and advancing national Global Disability Summit commitments that make inclusion tangible in people's lives. While global frameworks and mechanisms such as the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, the CRPD, or the Interparliamentary Union, or the Global Action on Disability, the GLAD Network, and the Global Disability Summit, they have all helped to build momentum, but while they have done this, there remains a missing piece: a global platform of parliamentarians dedicated specifically to disability inclusive development. And that is why, building on the energy of the GDS 2025 and building on our exchanges in April, we are advancing on the creation of a global parliamentary network for disability inclusion. This network will serve as a space where parliamentarians from every region can collaborate across borders to share good practices and innovations in inclusive legislation, learn and innovate together, where parliamentarians from every region can champion accountability, ensuring that national GDS commitments are tracked, are funded and implemented, and where parliamentarians from every region can build alliances, placing disability inclusion above political divides and at the very heart of national development policies. And we must ensure that this parliamentary network is grounded in the lived realities of persons with disabilities and that it fosters parliamentary leadership for disability inclusion. So today's dialogue is about shaping this platform together, and it's about making it practical. And we invite you as parliamentarians, as disability champions and partners to co-create this initiative together, commit to taking it forward, and prepare for its first steps. This is what today's meeting is all about. And I'm wishing all of us a good meeting, and I thank you for your attention. Back to you, Miriam.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dominic, for your opening remarks. Thank you so much for emphasizing and underscoring the importance of co-creation. And I completely agree with you. Today, we're here to co-create this important network. Our second opening remarks should be coming from the President of International Disability Alliance, who is joining us shortly. Let me just check. There was internet connectivity issues. And I wouldn't want to move to the next presentation before he joins, because the next presentation is going to be about setting the context. Just allow me 30 seconds to confirm whether he has been able to connect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for your patience. Please allow me to introduce the next speaker, who is going to be Greta Gembarin, who is the Manager for Global Disability Summit Secretariat. Greta is going to present to us the key outcomes of the Global Disability 2025 and the rationale and vision for a global disability network. Greta, over to you.
Thank you so much, Miriam, and thanks for all of you to attend this webinar and for having me here today. It's really a pleasure. I will take some time to briefly recap some key elements and figures from the Global Disability Summit in 2025. And then offer you an outline of next steps. I will also include a brief mention of the Amman-Berlin Declaration and how parliamentarian networks can engage in the next phase of the GDS process. So just to give you, as I mentioned, a brief overview of what happened at the Global Disability Summit, and you were all in attendance. We gathered around 4,700 participants from nearly 100 countries, making it the largest global disability summit to date since 2018, and also the largest gathering of disability practitioners around the world. At the GDS in 2025, we've seen engagement from both long-standing and new partners, and we've witnessed a growing use of the summit as a platform for cooperation and coordination. So increasingly, we are witnessing how different stakeholders are using the Global Disability Summit not only to announce new commitments, but rather to connect existing initiatives, to identify synergies, and to align efforts at the national and international level. For the summit in 2025, the co-hosts placed a strong focus on action-oriented commitments and on shifting our emphases in advocating for the submission of commitments from quantity and numbers of commitments to quality of commitments. And we also promoted joint commitments to be developed in partnership among different stakeholders to foster a more coordinated approach to disability inclusion. In total, and I'll link to the chat, the platform where you can browse all of the commitments received, we collected 820 commitments, the majority of which were received from governments, OPDs, and international non-governmental organizations. I took the liberty of looking a bit at the text of the commitments received and researching by keyword. And among these, I've looked at roughly 31 commitments focused on revising or adopting legislation or training government employees on disability inclusion. And then looking at broader searches, around 200 commitments refer to the need or the commitment to collaborate with governments to support specific projects or improving access to public services. So this at a first and very superficial analysis to me demonstrates that governments are both key recipients and also active implementers of many of the GDS commitments. As I mentioned, another major outcome of 2025 was the Amman-Berlin Declaration, which was endorsed by over 100 governments and international organizations. As I'm sure most of you know, the declaration promotes disability inclusion in international cooperation through two main targets. The first target is that of the 15 for the 15, which means that at least 15% of international cooperation projects should specifically focus on the inclusion of persons with disabilities. And the second target, which refers to mainstreaming, is that all international projects should be inclusive and accessible for persons with disabilities. So by endorsing the declaration, governments from the Global South and the Global North commit to work together for the achievement of these two targets. When it comes to the implementation of the declaration, it's foreseen that implementation needs to build on existing national mechanisms rather than creating a new structure for funding of projects and for monitoring of the achievement of the target. For countries that are recipients of official development assistance, governments are expected to lead the implementation of the target, while development banks, international organizations, and multilateral institutions play that crucial partner role in shaping and financing the programs that are going to contribute to the achievement of the target. In terms of the role to be played by civil society organizations, and for IDA, this means focusing on the engagement of organizations of persons with disabilities. We are focusing in supporting activities that are of capacity building, that support the understanding that OPDs have of the declaration and the meaning of the text, so that OPDs at the national level can then support with technical input and can be meaningfully engaged in the implementation of the declaration. Now that we are past the summit moment in April and past the submission of commitments, we are looking at a phase of implementation and monitoring for the GDS. And I think the phase of implementation and monitoring is really where networks like the one convening today can play a significant role. Because the GDS is an ongoing cooperation platform, and it's not just an event happening every 3 years, a network of parliamentarians can be used as a tool for coordination and for mutual learning. So at least from my perspective as coordinator of the GDS Secretariat, a network of parliamentarians can be used to exchange experiences and lessons learned on how commitments and how the declaration targets are being implemented and achieved in different countries. It can be used to support each other in identifying and addressing shared challenges in the implementation and how to potentially move past them. And the network can use the Global Disability Summit as a reference point of coordination between governments, but also between governments and other stakeholders to ensure that the action being taken at the national level is aligned with the global targets. Again, a network of parliamentarians can have different hats and can play several roles within the GDS process. It can have one of oversight and monitoring. It can have one of policy alignment, and it can have one of facilitation and coordination to help translate international commitments into national practice and to support each other's learning as we enter that phase of implementation and of reporting against targets. Miriam, I'll close here. I hope that this has helped giving a bit of a framework for the rest of the conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Greta, for that presentation. I've seen comments on the chat, honorable members requesting for a copy of the Amman-Berlin Declaration. And before we move to the next interactive dialogue, I would perhaps welcome any comments, any reflections from the honorable members. Please raise your hand, and then we will be able to unmute you. And if you have any follow-up comment or question related to Greta's presentation, please feel free to raise it at this particular moment. Thank you.
And Miriam, I've just seen Nawaf enter the meeting for your information.
Thank you, Greta. Welcome, Nawaf. Dr. Nawaf Kabara is the president of International Disability Alliance. And perhaps before we move to the questions, because we missed the opening remarks, Nawaf, I would like to pass the mic over to you.
One moment. Sorry for me, it's written 4 o'clock my time, which is half an hour from now. But finally, it's okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, Nawaf. Please go ahead.
Okay. First of all, honorable member of parliament, I'm honored to address you today as the president of the International Disability Alliance. I take this opportunity to welcome you all to this critical discussion on advancing disability inclusive development and following up on the 2025 Global Disability Summit outcomes. The 2025 GDS marked a significant milestone, mobilizing over 800 commitments and witnessing the adoption of the Amman-Berlin Declaration, supported by over 100 governments and multilateral entities. While we acknowledge this progress, the reality on the ground remains stark. Despite increased global commitment to disability inclusion, persons with disabilities continue to face entrenched challenges and barriers, including discriminatory laws and practices, inaccessible infrastructure, humanitarian crisis, limited access to education and employment, health inequity, institutionalization, and persistent exclusion from decision-making processes. Moreover, investment in disability inclusion remain alarmingly low. Now more than ever, disability inclusive budgeting must become a political priority. But how do we move the disability inclusive development agenda forward and ensure that the 800 commitment translate into tangible change in the life of persons with disabilities? To move the disability inclusive development agenda forward, we need strong political will, accountable governance, and partnership. Partnership are crucial in implementing 2025 GDS commitment and the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. The CRPD emphasizes cooperation as an obligation, not as an option, highlighting the importance of international collaboration. By working together, we can harness our diverse perspective, expertise, and experiences to drive a transformative change and realize the GDS commitment. The Amman-Berlin Declaration reflects this vision, stressing the value of partnership with diverse stakeholders, including national disability inclusion actors, the private sector, trade union, academia, and civil society to advance disability inclusion. Today, we follow up on a critical conversation that was initiated on the sideline of the 2025 GDS, where we convened a side event and discussed how to advance disability inclusive development through intensified parliamentary engagement and parliamentary networks Collectively, we agreed on the urgent need to establish and strengthen parliamentary networks for disability inclusion. I take this opportunity to reiterate the critical role of this network. With only 5 years left to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and 1.5 million persons with disability at risk of being left behind, we must act now. The establishment of parliamentary network will not only provide a platform to share best practices and coordinate effort, but also provide a means to accelerate implementation of GDS commitment at national level. The network can also provide a unique mechanism for organization of persons with disabilities to meaningfully engage with parliamentarians and contribute to legislative reforms, inclusive budgeting, and encourage cooperation. As I close, I reaffirm our commitment to collaborating with you to work together and ensure a world where everyone counts and no one is left behind. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Nawaf. And we are delighted to have you to join us this afternoon, this evening, this morning, depending on where each one of you is joining us. Before Dr. Nawaf made the opening remarks on behalf of the International Disability Alliance, which is the co-convener of this dialogue today, we had a session with Greta talking about setting the context, reflecting on the journey from Berlin and where we are today, the commitments that were made, and the importance of the Berlin Declaration, Amman Berlin Declaration, and of course, the vision and the rationale of having this parliamentary network, especially towards the phase around implementation and monitoring of the GDS commitments, not just the 2025, but throughout the different cycles of GDS that we have had since 2018. I see from the chat we have a question from Honorable Padam Pariyar from who is a member of National Assembly from Nepal. And I see Greta has already responded to that, but I would also like to welcome Greta, perhaps because this is related to the phase around monitoring and implementation. If you could please just address the issue to everybody so that we can be able to reflect about, everyone can be able to understand the existing monitoring mechanism and the importance of this monitoring mechanism, which is driven by goodwill, as it is a measure that is among member states and every stakeholder who makes commitments on commitments around the GDS. Greta, over to you to address the comment.
Thank you so much, Miriam. Happy to do so. The question related to having an analysis of GDS commitments in the way that I shared it. And I mentioned that we will be publishing a report looking at commitments received and analyzing them against different parameters. The report has just gone for design and translation today, so it will be available within the next 10 days to 2 weeks, and we will publish it on our website. Miriam will also share it with you so that if it is to be shared within the network, it will provide a useful resource. The report looks at commitments received, but as Miriam mentioned, there is also a component of reporting against commitments. We currently have a reporting exercise open for commitments that were received in 2018 and 2022. So each year we open a reporting exercise for commitments. We, of course, did not include reporting on 2025 commitments as they have just been submitted. The first official reporting exercise for 2025 commitments will open in April 2025, and it will stay open for roughly 4 months. We have noticed that once a reporting exercise is open, even if information is shared beforehand, most stakeholders need quite a lot of time to gather the information necessary to report and to then compile everything. So once the reporting exercise is open, we will share exactly where the reporting needs to be done. It happens within the same platform where commitments have been submitted. We will have a live guide in terms of how to fill a report, to report on progress, and we will also share beforehand the criteria and question for reporting. We are currently finalizing the standards for reporting. Our focus moving forward will mostly be on impact. So there will be a voluntary component to report on a percentage of progress achieved and whether there's been any delays in the implementation of the commitment. However, we will more heavily focus on implementation challenges, on whether implementation is being carried out in partnership with persons with disabilities and other partners, and any good practices or already concrete outcomes. For example, in the past years, when reporting on commitments, we have received from reporting entities reports on the progress that was being achieved. So physical online documents that outline exactly how the project progress is being achieved, rather than just a text in the reporting form. We are working so that all reports are publicly available. Stakeholders will be able to choose whether there are any internal non-public note to report on. And at the moment, the reports are not publicly available because the platform does not yet support that function, but we are more than happy to make those reports available to you for 2018 and 2022, should you have an interest in any specific commitments.
Thank you, Greta. There's a follow-up question from the chat. If you could clarify the timeline, whether it's April 2025 or April 2026. I think there was a mix-up.
Miriam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next reporting phase will open 1 year after the Global Disability Summit in 2025, which is April 2026.
Okay. Thank you, Greta. As Greta shares this, I reflect on the importance of this network, which one of them is, of course, information sharing. And we hope moving forward, once we have defined the structures of engagement, one of these functions of information sharing and ensuring that you get timely updates about the GDS and upcoming activities, as well as the phase of monitoring and how you can contribute. We are happy, and we hope that as honorable members, you'll give us an opportunity to partner with all of you and be able to provide this timely information as part of contribution to ensure that you effectively undertake your mandate at national level of accelerating the process of implementation of the Global Disability Summit commitments. I don't see further comments on the chat related to Greta's presentation. I don't see any scrolling on joined. Let me also take this opportunity to thank those who are joining us. I see representation from India, from Guatemala, from Kenya, from Armenia. Once again, I take this opportunity to thank you for this afternoon, this evening when you join us. As Dominique referred, the role of parliament has always been oversight, and there's a major contribution by parliamentarians in terms of ensuring disability inclusion and ensuring disability inclusive development. This role is not beginning now, it has been there, and as a major part of governance and major arm of the government, we recognize the role that parliamentarians can play to accelerate disability inclusion, not just at the national level, but also at the global level. The next session is going to be an interactive dialogue, which is going to focus on why this global network matters. We want to co-create this network. We want to speak to each other to ensure that we establish a structure that works for everyone and a structure that allows us to achieve the objective of this network, which is, of course, to promote disability and ensure disability inclusive development, and, of course, contribute and achieve this goal by ensuring that there is full implementation and monitoring of the global disability commitments. As I've mentioned, the role of parliamentarians has been there in advancing disability inclusion. And to start us off in this particular segment of discussion, I would like to welcome a number of champions, honorable members who have been champions of disability rights at national level and at global level. And then the second segment, I will invite each one of you, honorable members, to be able to reflect on how you're doing at national level. What is it that you're doing to ensure disability inclusive budgeting? What is it that you're doing to ensure legal reforms and eliminate discriminatory laws and practices that continue to segregate persons with disabilities? I would like now to invite Honorable Denita Gati, who is a member of Kenya Parliamentarian Caucus, to speak to us about how the Kenya network of persons with national parliamentarians with disabilities have advanced disability inclusion, as well as the contribution that they made towards the Global Disability 2025, and how they continue being engaged at national level post-GDS 2025. Honorable Denita Gati, the floor is yours, and please feel free to introduce yourself further. Thank you. You're muted. Let me inform our logistic person. Now you're on mute. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, honorable colleagues, and it's the evening here in Nairobi. My name is Honorable Denita Gati. I representing the Parliament of Kenya. Kenya is a bicameral parliament. We have the Senate, and also we have the National Assembly. And so in Kenya, and I want to also introduce myself and just say that I'm glad to see this network. There has been another network for the Commonwealth. Maybe they also know that there has been another network of the Commonwealth parliamentarians with disabilities. Now in Nairobi, Kenya, we are members of parliament with disabilities, about 12 of us, under the Kenya Parliamentary Disability Caucus. And so we are members who have been championing issues disability because we realize that members of parliament are, very few members of parliament are members of parliament with disabilities. So you realize that even in parliament, we are very few. In a parliament of, almost 368, you realize that we are only 12 who actually identify as members with disabilities. Because again, there's one thing to be a disabled member, and there's another thing to identify as a disabled member. So we also notice that even within parliament, we did not have a network. We did not have a voice that could speak for us as parliamentarians with disabilities. So we formed the Kenya Disability Parliamentary Association, which comprises of members of parliament of diverse disabilities. And also it comprises of members of parliament who feel, they want to advance their agenda on disability issues. So in Parliament of Kenya, we also have noticed that disability issues are usually not priority in the House, in Parliament. Disability are usually issues that are not brought to the House by non-disabled members, you see. So it has been our duty as MPs with disability to be the ones to push the agenda for parliamentarians or for persons with disabilities in Kenya. So we have seen situations in which we have engaged the speaker, we have engaged the clerk, we have engaged the staff of parliament, the researchers of parliament, to make sure that issues disability are discussed in the House, in Parliament, and that issues of disability are also legislated in the House. So I think for me as a parliamentarian who has championed issues disability, we also realize that members of parliament without disability hardly talk about disability issues. So that is something that we have changed. We have to change, and we have used our network of members of Parliament of Kenya with disabilities to basically push our agenda in Parliament. So it is not just about the agenda; it is about what do we want to see in the House. Because even in our Parliament, when we started our association, we realized that Parliament, the way Parliament is built, it is completely not even accessible to members of Parliament who use wheelchair, who use various assistive devices. So we have really done a lot of advocacy work, even within Parliament, to actually make noise, to make sure that Parliament is remodeled, it is rebuilt, so that it is now accessible. A wheelchair parliamentarian can get into Parliament and move himself and sit comfortably in the House. And that is not usually the case with other parliaments. So we have come together as parliamentarians with disabilities in Kenya with a view to push our agenda and to push also the agenda for persons with disabilities who are not parliamentarians in this country. And so for me, having an opportunity like this to really have a network that we can share, because most of our parliaments, and I'm waiting to hear from my colleagues, maybe from Mongolia or from India, how their parliaments are built. For example, whether persons with disabilities who are not members of parliament do access parliament. Do they come to even listen to the gallery, to listen to see how their members of parliament are debating, for example, in the House or not? So because it is not just about us as parliamentarians, it is about our people who are persons with disabilities out there who are not members of parliament. And so we have tried as a country comparatively in Africa, because we have been able to move around, because I know that even within this network that we are co-creating today, we will be able to address so many issues, not just talking on Zoom, but we will be able to maybe even see other parliaments. My parliament, for example, if you come to Nairobi, Kenya, you realize that parliament has completely changed. It is accessible. It has, things have changed. And so for me, this is a good network that is going to put together a force that is going to look at how we address issues disability. How do we ensure that Speaker of the House talks about disability issues in the House? Because those are issues that we have been championing, so that we ensure that the Speaker also sits in our caucus as a caucus of parliament. So there's so much to do, even as we come together so that we actualize and monitor the commitments of the Berlin Declaration. How are we beginning from our own House, our own parliaments, so that we make sure that we sensitize the leadership of parliament to be able to talk about disability issues, even when we do not have to, when we're not there? How do we ensure that our Speaker of the House of Parliament is able to talk and discuss issues disability and also promote legislation of disability issues in the House. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Denita. I do not want to summarize your speech. I want to hear as other members of Parliament share their experience, and then I'll come in just to summarize the session and continue with the conversation. I see Smitha, forgive my pronunciation. Please, you can, I see your hand is up. Would you like to take the floor, Honorable?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Miriam. Thank you so much for organizing this international conversation. Actually, I would like to give a gist on what we conducted in India very recently. The Purple Fest, the International Purple Fest 2025, which was held in October 2025. And the dates were from 9th to 12th of October, and what we could actually achieve is we got 3 parliamentarians from disabilities with disabilities from Armenia, Australia, and Mongolia, and unfortunately, a Nepal parliamentarian could not join us. And we also could have the representative from the Unite Parliamentarians Network join us for the important conversation. And the points that came up in the discussions, in the panel discussion and in the conference was really amazing. And yes, as Honorable Denita was saying, the issues the parliamentarians with disabilities.
Sorry, Smitha, maybe you switch off your camera.
Am I audible now?
Yeah. Please go ahead. Please.
I've just switched off my video. The important points that came up is the issues that parliamentarians with disabilities themselves face in the parliaments, and whether it is navigating the parliament infrastructure or to deal with the fellow parliamentarians on the aspect of accessibility, reasonable accommodation, and equality, basically. And then the legislations which they have been pushing, and they have been achieving a lot on the disability inclusion despite all the barriers that they are facing as parliamentarians themselves. And we also got a very few strong solutions on how to overcome all these things at the global platform, to raise awareness, to collect data, and multiple other things. Honorable Sophia was there, Honorable Zaruhi was there, and Honorable Saranchulan was there. So taking that forward, I have also proposed to the Government of India to have a conference of parliamentarians with disabilities and the parliamentarians without disabilities who are fostering this agenda of disability inclusion. And I'm working on that proposal, and hopefully we get it successfully. So I would also request the support of Global Disability Summit, the IDA, International Disability Alliance, and CBM in this venture. And we, a few of the parliamentarians together and DRIF representatives from our country, we have together created a WhatsApp group also and at least some 9-10 parliamentarians are part of that WhatsApp group, parliamentarians with disabilities, and we are moving forward with the conversations there also, and also through the email conversations. Mr. Kabara is also part of these conversations. This is a really great idea of creating a international global parliamentarian disability network. So we need more funds and we need more structure to it, and I appreciate Greta giving a structure to this idea. This is what I wanted to say, and I can see comment from Honorable Sophia in the chat. I would like the views of Honorable Sophia, Honorable Zaruhi, and Honorable Saranchulan and also Honorable Padam and Bettina from Unite Parliamentarian Network, with whom we have been having conversations, and they are really interested. They are already being a global parliamentarian network for global health. They are also interested in disability inclusion, and they have already started working on that. So appreciate this efforts and appreciate everybody's efforts in this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Smitha, for your updates from India. And listening to you and listening to Honorable Denita, I hear a lot of reflections and issues related to accessibility. And just to remind each one of us that accessibility and infrastructure was one of the areas of priority for commitments during the 2025 Global Disability Summit. And our governments have committed, the different governments have committed to ensure accessibility. And as part of this network, I believe that part of awareness raising and also monitoring implementation is on that particular area of accessibility. So in countries where governments made commitments towards ensuring universal accessibility, it will be important just to monitor the extent to which that commitment is being implemented, but also the extent to which parliamentarians are being engaged in the process of ensuring that in terms of budget allocation, to ensure that all these commitments are implemented, there is that contribution as well. Allow me, Honorable Smitha, I acknowledge the call for contribution from your colleagues, and I will give them the floor. But for now, I would like to allow me to move to Guatemala very early in the morning and invite Honorable Eric Toon, or is it Toon? Eric, please feel free to introduce yourself. Eric is the chair, Eric Toon is the president of the Committee on Disability Affairs, Congress of the Republic of Guatemala. Eric, please, the floor is yours, and feel free to introduce yourself.
Gracias. Un saludo para todos, en especial para el presidente de la Alianza Internacional de Discapacidad y para todos los presentes. Un saludo desde Guatemala. Acá es de mañana. Acá está iniciando el día, entonces un saludo desde acá de Guatemala. Mi nombre es Eric Zun, congresista de Guatemala, presidente de la Comisión de Asuntos sobre Discapacidad. El Congreso de la República, pues, tiene 32 comisiones, que dentro de ellas, pues, ha tenido una comisión también de discapacidad. Nuestro país, pues, realmente ha trabajado el tema de discapacidad muy poco, a pesar de que dentro de nuestra Constitución Política de la República de Guatemala, en el artículo 53 se establece que el Estado debe de garantizar los derechos para las personas con discapacidad. Hasta el año 1996, en un decreto, pues se tiene una ley específica para la atención para personas con discapacidad. En el año 2008, Guatemala ratifica la Convención sobre los Derechos de las Personas con Discapacidad de las Naciones Unidas. De ahí, pues, no se había tenido una ley específica en discapacidad. El Congreso de la República, para poner un poco en contexto cómo en Guatemala se trabaja dentro del Congreso, se tiene un periodo de 4 años. Nosotros iniciamos el periodo de nuestra legislatura como congresistas en el año 2024 y finalizamos en el año 2028. Yo tuve la oportunidad de ser presidente de la Comisión de Asuntos sobre Discapacidad en el año 2024. El periodo de la presidencia es por un año. El trabajo que se hizo dentro de la comisión, pues me da la oportunidad de poder estar en el año 2025 nuevamente como presidente de la Comisión de Discapacidad. Y eso pues creo que refleja un trabajo importante, no solo de la Comisión, sino que del Congreso de la República de Guatemala. Creo que para nosotros es importante poder ser parte de esta red internacional parlamentaria en discapacidad, porque Guatemala pues necesita ver muchos ejemplos de cómo otros países han trabajado el tema de discapacidad y así nosotros poder optar por esos ejemplos y trabajar también en poder legislar a favor de las personas con discapacidad. El año pasado nosotros en la comisión aprobamos una ley que es una ley de certificación biopsicosocial para personas con discapacidad, en el cual creo que es un avance muy importante para la legislación de nuestro país, ya que las personas con discapacidad pues no contaban con un certificado para poder optar a educación, a salud, a trabajo, al sector justicia, que es muy importante también. Y a partir de esto, creo que nosotros damos un paso importante en nuestro país para poder certificar al 10% de la población. Nosotros en Guatemala tenemos aproximadamente 18 millones de personas de la población y tenemos casi 2 millones de personas con discapacidad que se encuentran registradas. Nosotros estamos trabajando dentro del Congreso de la República. Creo que algo que es muy similar a lo que mencionaba la persona que me antecedió es en decirle que dentro del Congreso somos 160 diputados o parlamentarios y dentro de ellos pues no hay personas con discapacidad. Lamentablemente pues nuestro no Congreso y los edificios de Estado, el sector público y por qué no decirlo de nuestro país pues no contamos con la infraestructura para poder dar la accesibilidad a las personas con discapacidad. De esto, pues creo que nosotros legislar a favor de las personas con discapacidad, pues no lo teníamos en años anteriores. No había sido una prioridad para el Estado poder legislar a favor de este sector. Pero ahora nosotros como legisladores, pues hemos tenido nosotros el compromiso de poder apoyar a las personas con discapacidad y creo que ese trabajo es el que se ha reflejado que es la primera vez que Guatemala es parte de una red internacional parlamentaria, pero ha sido por el trabajo que se ha realizado y porque nosotros tenemos ese deseo de poder trabajar para las personas con discapacidad, poder dejar nosotros leyes que sirvan para poder tener una base. Nosotros, como comisión y como parlamento, este año presentamos en el mes de septiembre una iniciativa que es una ley marco para personas con discapacidad. Desde el año de 1996, pues, es una única ley. Ahora, en el año 2025, presentamos una nueva iniciativa de ley que creemos nosotros que va a ser actualizada ya que en Guatemala, pues la única institución que está creada es el Consejo Nacional de Discapacidad, que se llama CONADI, pero es un consejo que únicamente sirve para capacitar y para hacer unos ciertos programas, pero no poder invertir en el tema de discapacidad. Actualmente, pues en esta iniciativa que nosotros presentamos como Comisión de Discapacidad al Congreso de la República de Guatemala, ya se incluye una Secretaría Presidencial de Discapacidad, la cual pues ya se le crea incluso un renglón presupuestario o un clasificador presupuestario dentro del presupuesto del gobierno para que pueda ser atendida casi 2 millones de personas con discapacidad, en el cual se les pueda dar acceso a la educación, ya que pues en su mayoría las escuelas no tienen acceso en infraestructura ni tampoco en acompañamiento a las personas con diferentes discapacidades. También en el sector justicia se les da acompañamiento, ya que acá pues no habían intérpretes de lengua de señas o accesibilidad en infraestructura. Y actualmente pues en esta iniciativa también se pretende que se le pueda dar este acompañamiento. Para Guatemala es muy importante poder ser parte de esta red, ya que pues nosotros podemos mostrar los avances que tenemos y también creemos que es importante poder optar las experiencias que otros países han tenido. Nuestra responsabilidad, pues, como Parlamento es garantizar los derechos de las personas con discapacidad y por ello es de que acá en Guatemala, en este año 2025, también estamos trabajando sobre el mecanismo de rendición de cuentas o fiscalización de discapacidad. Contamos nosotros acá en Guatemala con una Procuraduría de los Derechos Humanos y dentro de esta Procuraduría tenemos una Defensoría de los Derechos de las Personas con Discapacidad y con ellos en conjunto estamos empezando a trabajar este mecanismo de fiscalización porque creemos que es importante que todas las ayudas de gobierno como también las ayudas internacionales sean fiscalizadas para que lleguen a las personas que realmente lo necesitan. Nosotros pues tenemos ese compromiso de que podamos nosotros hacer leyes, pero que sean unas leyes que tengan un presupuesto, porque creemos nosotros que sin presupuesto no se pueden ejecutar ninguna ley. Las podemos tener en papeles, las podemos nosotros publicar, pero si no las ejecutamos, de nada sirve que podamos nosotros poder llevar a cabo estos programas o proyectos para las personas con discapacidad. Entonces, esto es parte de lo que nosotros estamos haciendo. Para nosotros fue muy importante poder ser parte de la Cumbre Mundial de Discapacidad, porque esto nos abre a nosotros como país las puertas internacionalmente para poder nosotros también mostrar las necesidades que tenemos como país y mostrar también el trabajo que estamos haciendo, porque creo que es importante no solo poder nosotros pedir apoyo internacionalmente, sino que demostrar también que nosotros tenemos ese trabajo dentro del Parlamento y dentro del gobierno que creemos que es muy importante. Acá en Guatemala, pues la discapacidad en el tema de los tres poderes de Estado que tenemos nosotros, que es el Ejecutivo, que es directamente el presidente de la República de la Nación, la primera dama, que es la esposa del presidente, pues trabaja directamente el tema de discapacidad. Desde el año 2024-2025 nosotros hemos abierto mesas de trabajo y mesas técnicas en las cuales hemos podido trabajar el tema de discapacidad para poder abrir los espacios para sociedad civil y para todos los grupos de discapacidad que se han organizado para poder tener y cumplir sus derechos. Y nosotros hemos abierto esas puertas y esas mesas técnicas para poder trabajar en conjunto con ellos, porque creemos nosotros que es importante hacer leyes, pero más importante es poder escuchar a los sectores de discapacidad para que estas leyes sean funcionales y cumplan con las necesidades de cada uno de ellos. Entonces, esto es parte del trabajo que nosotros hemos hecho acá en Guatemala. Vamos nosotros trabajando, nos quedan 2 años a nosotros como legisladores y creemos que vamos a dar pasos importantes como país para poder cumplir con la Convención de los Derechos de las Personas con Discapacidad, para poder cumplir también con los compromisos que se han optado en la cumbre mundial de discapacidad y que podamos dejar nosotros un paso importante y una línea de trabajo para los siguientes congresistas y que podamos llevar a Guatemala a una inclusión verdadera. Gracias por la participación y pues estoy abierto a cualquier comentario.
Thank you so much, Honorable Eric Tunsu and Zun. Is it Sun or Tun? Okay. And thank you so much for highlighting additional areas that needs to be prioritized. As I mentioned, the 2025 Global Disability Summit had different priority areas. In your speech, you highlighted issues related to inclusive education, issues related to non-discriminatory laws and the importance of recognizing the autonomy of persons with disabilities. Of course, a mandate that is centrally to the parliamentarians to ensure that the discriminatory laws are repealed or amended accordingly in line with the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Again, thank you so much for, of course, bringing in the human rights-based approach, underscoring the importance of the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. But also importantly, the emphasis around effective and meaningful engagement of organizations persons with disabilities and persons with disabilities, ensuring that they're active actors and they're contributing to the processes and the decisions that affect them. So thank you so much. And lastly, thank you for your commitment to the establishment of the network. We are really honored to have you, and we look forward to collaborating with you as we continue to unpack this particular network. And in our next conversation, it will be discussions around what structure works best for you all, honorable members. Thank you so much. I would like to invite Honorable Padam from Nepal. Honorable Padam, you have the floor.
Hello, Honorable Member of Parliament, all the organizing team members. Am I audible, by the way?
Yes,
Yes.
you are honorable. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mariam. So I'm really happy to join this discussion through Zoom, and I got this opportunity to learn from the different sharing from IDA as well as from the honorable members. I don't have much to say, but the similar experience is happening here in for kind information. So maybe I forgot to introduce myself in the beginning. So I'm the member of the upper house. We call it National Assembly. And by the Constitution, we have a provision that at least one persons with disability or from the marginalized community, we can represent from 7 different provinces to the National Assemblies. So we are now 4 of us and 1 in the House of Representatives. So in together we are 5, and 3 are from the minority community. And by my experience, I worked as a OPD leader in 20 years, and I have received this opportunity 2 years back, and I have been working with the National Assembly. Just to highlight a few of the activities that we have done so far from the National Assembly in Nepal. So one of the biggest issue that I have experienced is the lack of use of respectful language even in the parliament. So I experienced that even the MPs without the disabilities and even the MPs with the disabilities have used the disrespectful languages, words, terms in the parliament. So I have raised my hands multiple times to stop this kind of disrespectful situation. So and I'm pretty hopeful and happy that our parliament, particularly the National Assembly, has been being more respectful in these days through the orders from the honorable chairs. Second is I have been advocating multiple times for the sign language interpretation in the assembly, where because a lot of persons with hearing disabilities, they are denied to see, to hear what is happening in the parliament because of the lack of sign language interpreters. So I've been raising this multiple times, but it's really difficult for the government as well as the Parliament Secretariat to manage this. I'm pretty hopeful that it will happen soon. The accessibility issues in the Parliament is also another big issue. Since we are making the new Parliament building, and we have also monitored the new building for a couple of times. So I'm pretty hopeful that it will be accessible for all kind of persons with disabilities. So these are a few of the initiatives, and at my personal level, I have engaged almost all the bills that have been discussed in the in the National Assembly, and I have made a couple of amendments to make it disability inclusive. We have also informally formed kind of a committee amongst the member parliamentarians with disabilities, though we are in a small number. We have met 2 times, and we have discussed for different issues that we raise in the parliament. One of the issue that we could not we tried, but we could not do that. Could not convince the parliament as well as the parliamentary committee is that last year we had a great movement for the personal assistance. The persons with disabilities who were in that movement, they have requested the parliamentary committee to support to advocate for the government. But the committee that I belong to, I tried it, but it did not work out. That's where I feel sad. We should have been able to raise that issues through the different parliamentary committees as well. So it's not only the parliament as a whole, but also the different parliamentary committees that we can mobilize and make the bills as well as the parliamentary activities inclusive of disability. At the policy level, is the former speaker, Honorable, had also said that, amongst the parliamentarians with disabilities, we do have the different, experience, we do have the different understanding about the disability. Particularly, our political parties, they have picked up the different, persons, though they are persons with disabilities, but have a very little, understanding about the disability. And we also need to invest. We may also need to capacitate the member parliamentarians with disabilities to have the deeper understanding about the disability inclusion issues. It should not be also it should not be linked with not only with the parliamentarians with disabilities, but it should also linked with the parliamentarians without disabilities, until and unless they have a good understanding about the disability, we may support other parliamentarians. So we have to also work on that. And at the end, we are talking about the global network of the parliamentarians. That's absolutely the most relevant, forum that we can go ahead. I'm truly hopeful, and I'm really, excited to contribute as well as learn from this, network where we can make changes for the disability inclusion through the parliament, through the policy making, as well as oversighting what government is doing. So this network will be a great mechanism to monitor and oversight the government activities globally. So I'm really hopeful for this network and ready to contribute on it. I think I have to stop over here. Thank you for this opportunity.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Padam, and thank you for sharing with us the initiatives that you're undertaking at the national level, the reflections about contributions to different legislation, development of legislations, as well as your contribution towards creating awareness, which again, I would like to draw you to. I'll keep making references to the different commitments that were done across different themes. And when we speak about the use of language, of course, we are speaking about issues related to commitments around non-discrimination and ensuring that persons with disabilities are treated with dignity and on equal basis with others. And of course, thank you again for affirming your commitment to continue engaging with this network. I'm really excited to hear how you'd like this to look like because every one of you is very looking forward, and you're expressing commitments to continue having this conversation. And so I'm looking forward in our next conversation around how do you want this to look like? How can we co-create this together to be a meaningful network that meets the needs and the expectations as well as the objectives of the network? I note that Honorable Saraka from Mongolia is in the call. Honorable Saraka, would you like to take the floor?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, go ahead, Honorable Saraka.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Yes, it's very lovely to see you, many of you, because in Go, I see some of you also online. But today, in Mongolia, we have 126 members of the parliament from 5 different political parties. And then there are 2 members with disability, including me, and then my other colleague who use a wheelchair. I have a artificial leg. So this is the first time in Mongolia, and then we selected in a list of the political party. That list included professional researchers, medical doctors, and also representative from the community, like people with disability. So historically, it's first time in Mongolia, and then there are different attitude, awareness, also understanding about disability in Mongolia, even after 30 years later after the democracy. So for next step of our meeting, I would like to propose my idea about first high-level parliamentarian summit, the meeting in Mongolia. And I asked our government and other members of the parliamentarians support us, because right now in Mongolia, we are working on to submit new law that enhancing barrier-free environment and also people's rights law of the people with disability. But however, in legislation, however, in the parliamentarian level, policymakers understand the situation, but in the public life, in the street, in community, still there needs some advocacy and need some understanding about what is disability and also hiding disability, because people's understanding about disability is just same as what other honorable members said. It's same in Mongolia too, but specifically Mongolians, the populations, like main populations, understanding of disability linked with wheelchair, mostly wheelchair and mobility problem, mostly. So they can see in example, they don't know me as a people with person with disability because I use artificial leg. And then we have in Mongolia there are 4 seasons. In winter we wear very warm clothes, and then we can't always open our leg or open showing our the body impairment issues. So in that matter, to submit and then to implement, barrier-free environment, we need to do some actions. And then in terms of that, my idea and also my initiation is inviting you into Mongolia, capital city of Ulaanbaatar, in next year or end of the next year, and then organizing the first networking meetings. And then if we organize this meeting, then it will be very effective. An example I was preparing to say here. So if you host the first high-level summit of the parliamentarians with disability in Ulaanbaatar, it will bring strong impact, especially specifically in raising awareness on barrier-free law and improving public accessibility, including all types of the transportation, and then also the infrastructure and strengthening regional cooperation through Ulaanbaatar, the meetings. So in terms of the budget and timeline, I can build some working group, including inviting some of you, and then keep you updated the process. And then, of course, we will also require the financial and technical support, but I can also, we could together and then work on that. So I'm warmly welcome you collaboration on that. So how do you, because I might be joined a little bit later, so I didn't know about if you plan some meeting or next step yet. So if didn't, then it can be very, very much welcome in Mongolia next year. So if you set the timeline after this meeting, do the mail, so I can send the all informations and then sharing the informations. So I also will be negotiate our government and then also president. So president and then speaker and then government, prime minister, all are supporting our ideas to arranging this meeting. But I only need your confirmations, your agreement of this first network meeting. How to say it? It's like high-level summit of parliamentarian or first limitless legislative network or whatever, some kind of name, but we need to do some actions. Then summer is most beautiful time in Mongolia. And then, yeah, that's the my message today I want to share you. So then, of course, once we arrange the meeting, we will have some declaration. And then also I'm last 20 years, I'm working in a teaching university in social work and then doing research. So I feel very confident on that we can build the new research and measuring indicators for CPR, this implementation in different countries. Because sometimes I think UN convention for people with disability, right? Sometimes it's not suitable in Mongolian condition because we have different climate and different lifestyles, and then it's different from Africans or different from some other countries. So we need to work on that. So in that matter, I can work on that very actively. So yeah, that's the my next step, next idea to inviting all of you and then to share today. Did I is it did you understand me?
Yes, Honorable
Because I'm
Saraka.
worrying about my English.
Yeah, I followed very well. I want just to start by appreciating your offer to host the first meeting or the second meeting, depending on how the parliamentarians and honorable members who have joined this call and others who will join as we continue with the conversation to discuss the structure and the way forward. So thank you so much for introducing us to the way forward. In moving way forward, more steps ahead of us, and visioning this in-person meeting in Mongolia. So I would really want to hear from the honorable members in the call of what they think about this invitation from Honorable Saraka and how we get there, because I believe it's very important before we get to go to Mongolia. We have a structured way of engagement, and we do have like terms of reference, and we have our goal and objective our shared goal and objective outlined, so that we can know the purpose of this network. So I will pack the feedback from the honorable members who are in this call for the next 5 minutes, so that I can invite Honorable Bettina from Unite Parliamentarians Network to share reflections, and then we will move now to the last segment, which is about building political leadership and co-creating the way forward of the network, where, of course, we will be able to discuss more about how we want this network to move forward, including the invitation by Honorable Saraka to Mongolia. So without further ado, please, Honorable Bettina from Unite Parliamentarians Network, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. And first of all, congratulations on this new global parliamentary network. And thank you all
You're
so much.
muted, Bettina.
I can hear her.
No, it's audible. I'm audible, Bettina.
Okay, you can't hear me?
You are. I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So I just wanted to say thank you all for your comments, sharing your experience, and also your success story. It's really, truly an inspiring conversation we're having today. And I'm very happy that we could, as Unite, join this conversation. So that said, I'm Bettina, I'm Parliamentarians Engagement Lead at Unite, which is a parliamentarian network for global health. We bring together at Unite 120 parliamentarians from 120 countries who are committed to advance global health for all worldwide. So that said, at Unite, we truly believe that real progress in health can be made, and inclusive development is only possible when we join forces and we collaborate. That's why our network works closely with other networks, and we're also happy to share experience and our expertise. That said, I also wanted to use the opportunity to thank Smitha for reaching out to us right from at the beginning and involving us in a discussion on parliamentary leadership and disability and global health. And as Smitha already mentioned, this year Unite has participated at the Prep Festival, where we highlighted the key role of parliamentarians in this regard. So we're happy to explore possibilities of collaboration, to be very open to share our experience that we have as a global network for global health. And last but not least, I just wanted to congratulate you once again for this milestone that you just made. And we look forward to collaborate with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bettina. I believe that once the platform has been established, we will be able to have some learning sessions, just to hear exchanges, from your side, and learn some of the models that have worked towards ensuring disability inclusion and inclusive health and health equity for persons with disabilities, and how you've engaged some of the models that have successively worked in terms of engaging parliamentarians. So we look forward to having that session once we have a structure that can allow us to have meaningful conversations moving forward. And thank you so much for honoring our invitation and joining us this afternoon. I would like now to welcome Zara from Armenia, the honorable member from Armenia.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you very, very much for this opportunity. It's very nice to meet you all online. And as Smita mentioned, we had a meeting in Goa. It was wonderful to meet parliamentarians and to feel power of peers, because it's very important to feel support from all over the world. So of course, as politicians, as persons with disabilities, we have our own experience, success stories, difficulties, challenges. And today, for example, I have a discussion on budget for 2026. And again, my agenda is accessibility, inclusive development. So, of course, every time I feel a lot of challenges, because it's really very hard to push disability agenda in whole policy, in government policy. So that's why it's important to have support from you, from all over the world, from different countries. And of course, I believe this support also can bring changes in our countries, because I believe if we'll have conferences, meetings in each country, or in some countries, and we will bring some strength, we'll bring more power to change that environment and that reality that which we have in our countries. So that's why it's really fantastic to have this opportunity. And of course, I can tell a long story about disability right agenda, about how me as a former Minister of Labor and Social Issues, I also have a very good experience of promoting disability right law. Also different projects for persons with disabilities. It's about personal assistant. It's about reasonable accommodation. It's about quota for persons with disabilities in employment. So it can be, of course, a long story. I believe that each of you can tell the same, but I'm agree that we need more activities, and sure, I believe it can help also to educate our colleagues in parliaments without disabilities also, because they are, of course, majority. So we need to bring them to in our field, or we need to make our agenda also there. So that's why, of course, I agree with my colleagues that we need to change our experience, have meetings and conferences. So I would like to be one of champions. So I'm with you, and I would like to have your experience also. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Zara from Armenia. And again, I just want to acknowledge and appreciate that honorable members, you acknowledge the importance of the network, and there is goodwill to continue forward with the network. And I am aware that it's 24 minutes to 4 p.m. Central European Time, and I would like us to move forward with the agenda, because each one of you seems to agree that there's need for this network to be structured. There's need for more engagement through this network. And I would like now to move to the next agenda, which is about co-creating the network. And this essentially looks at how do we want the network to look like? What kind of structure would work best for you, honorable members, to deliver the objective of this network? Again, I would invite reflections from each one of you, and perhaps when we have this reflection amongst yourself, you can also think about do we need to establish like a smaller group that coordinates in terms of putting together the structure and the terms of reference for the network that can work together with the International Disability Alliance and CBM to continue to ensure that we deliver a structured mechanism that can work for everyone. So allow me again to open the floor for reflections and comments from you, honorable members, of how you want to move this agenda forward in terms of structure and areas and priorities that you want to focus on. Please feel free to raise your hand, put comments on the chat of what you're looking forward to, and please be open to share your reflection. Thank you.
Miriam, can I say something?
Yes, Honorable Padam, please.
I think as you have already mentioned, so we can scratch from forming a small team that will come up with the scope of work of the network, and maybe the future some of the future activities, let's say for coming 6 months or for a year. And then we will have a bigger kind of conference or a meeting, and then that will be more formalized after certain months or even a year. So maybe at the moment to jot down the things and move ahead, maybe we can have I don't want to say a smaller, but kind of a medium scale team, along with the contributors from CBM or IDEA or other organizations, and that's how I think we can move ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Padam, for your contribution. Honorable Denita, you asked if you could take the floor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, greetings from Nairobi. And allow me to just acknowledge Bettina. I am a member of Unite, Parliamentarians for Global Health, and I'm glad to see her there. I just wanted to support my colleague on the small groups. I think as a beginning, that would be important. And then so that we help in terms of building, just initial ideas on how maybe it can work. But again, I was also thinking, because this being a global network, obviously it's huge. It is huge, and I would suggest as we move forward that maybe we could divide this whole global network into maybe regions, regional maybe champions, regional representatives, things like that, so that we, it becomes a little easier, like Africa, Asia, like that. And then from there it could converge somehow to the global perspective. And then I was also thinking, because I had my colleague, member of parliament from Mongolia, giving us an invite. I don't know. I'm thinking loudly, because we may have to definitely have a one-on-one. I would suggest, I don't know how, but if there can be a face-to-face kind of meeting, initial maybe meeting that is more, so that members could just put the name to the face. If that is possible, for me, I would suggest an inaugural summit of these members, and I don't know many more that will come. But again, I believe that these are initial champions, guys who have shown interest to champion. Maybe if there could be some I don't know, maybe we could meet an initial global, face-to-face meeting, summit, that we could really put all these ideas together on a one-on-one basis. Sometimes it makes more more sense, I would say, so that we are able to also develop our objective, develop our timelines, and develop our plan of action. Things like that can help. And so for me, those are three contributions I felt. First is the meeting. The second is the small groups, a small team that can help coordinate. Maybe you could look in terms of how many people you want. Maybe you get them from the regions we come from. Maybe 3, 4, I don't know, I guess, and then they can help to kickstart the project, this kind of engagement. And then maybe we do the summit. And then from there, we are able to develop our own, maybe, strategic plan or something, so that we are able to now begin to, to put together and analyze the commitments and see how do we structure up something, whether it's a work plan, or whether it's a strategic plan, whether it's something that can help guide the network. For me, that is my initial thoughts on the way forward.
Thank you so much, Honorable Denita, for your reflections. I hear small groups. I hear in-person meetings. I hear the need, of course, to develop scope of work, which is more of the terms of reference. So let me see whether I'll hear additional reflections from other honorable members. Eric, Guatemala, would you like to come in? Honorable Eric, Guatemala. They're still in the call.
Okay. Can I?
Yes, Saraka. Honorable Saraka, please.
While they are coming. So I don't know if there is different documents than CPRD convention for different country, but if there, of course, SDG we have a few international documents we could follow, but I don't think there is a specific measurement of indicators linking with the accessibilities in example, and then also specific for people with disability. So my contribution could be for this group, or next step would be developing some international indicators or measuring documents, like something like idea. You may build in some outline or some documents that could use national survey, or how to say, like research matters. So that could be. And then also I can just send you all the draft proposal of this meeting, and then also I can work on this, build the registration. And then in terms of just social work research, I can continue on that part, how to say, but we have different time zones. So sometimes the Zoom or some meeting would be sometimes not comfortable, might be because of the time difference. So if we have group forum mail or some sharing documents together, then we could add the timelines, research questions, or some how to say, like working documents. I could work on that. And then also I can share the draft proposals of the first meeting, what Honorable Denita Gatti says. Sorry if I say wrong.
Thank you so much, Honorable Saraka, again for the invitation and for offering to lead in structuring the in-person meeting. Again, just thinking about what do we really want out of this network, and I think we need to collectively answer that question. And I'm glad that we are already fleshing out that question around what do we really want, and the ideas around small groups as well as in person are all welcomed. I think the most important thing at this particular stage, of course, we at this steering level, is that we continue unpacking the network by developing the scope of work as well as the different work streams. If I hear and understand well, the issue related to small groups is about work streams. So you have one network, but you have different work streams which the network can identify that they want to prioritize. Of course, one of those core work streams is the Global Disability Summit and the phase of monitoring and evaluation, as well as contribution to future Global Disability Summit, the agenda of Global Disability Summit. So the network needs to flesh out its scope and the different agendas that needs to be prioritized. Hence the request, and of course now going back to Padam, Honorable Padam, about the proposal of either 2 or 3 honorable members whom we are happy to work with to be able to put together a document, of course, that will have a follow-up conversation for virtually to go through. And I believe once this document has been developed and circulated for your input, we can also have another follow-up virtual meeting. And I also believe that we have more parliamentarians from our countries that we can bring on board to contribute to this topic. So part of building the network is, of course, mobilization to ensure that there is representation from our different countries, from our different regions, and build a strong network. I heard Unite speak about their membership, and I looked at the number of honorable parliamentarians who have joined this meeting today, and I believed that there is opportunity for us to mobilize and have more members of parliament joining the conversation. So just to summarize and to hand over the microphone to whoever would like to come in and contribute, is that the first thing is, of course, to develop terms of reference and share with honorable members to go through the terms of reference and provide feedback. The second step is to organize another follow-up meeting to go through these terms of preference. And of course, the immediate one at this steering level is also for you, honorable members, to identify 2 or 3 people, 2 or 3 honorable members whom we can work with to be able to design the first document that can guide this engagement, and of course circulate that to all of you for review and contribution. And I believe once we have the the structure of engagement or terms of reference, then we will be able to know what next in terms of whether in person, whether virtual. How do we ensure now we get together and look at our manifesto and ensure that in the next 3 or 4 years, we are moving towards first, of course, the first work stream that we are looking at GDS, contributing to the process of localization and implementation of the commitments, as well as the other issues that you've raised in today's conversation around the challenges that you face as parliamentarians at national level. And that reminds me that the Committee on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities is actually developing a general comment on Article 29 on political participation. Of course, very timely discussion, and this network could also think about that once the structure has been developed accordingly as part of the work streams that you would like to advance as a network. I will pause there. I know that I've said a few things in a lot of words, and like I said, we would like to co-create. So this is a process of co-creation, and we would like the honorable members to decide in terms of way forward. Who would you like to be the representative whom we can work with to develop the scope of work, and then if we could agree on timelines and share that, as well as one assignment of course, mobilizing colleagues from the region to be able to contribute to this work. I'll open the floor again for reflection. We have 7 minutes, and I know that each one of you has a lot of work to do. Others would also like to rest for the evening. So I'll hand over to you for your final reflections and how you'd like us to move forward. Thank you.
How many members again you want?
I think at this level, we could have maybe two representatives to be able to work on the scope of work or terms of reference, and then we circulate that and be able to get input. And of course, I think before end of the year, we should have a follow-up meeting, or early January, we should have a follow-up meeting to go through the document. Yes.
Okay, can I volunteer to be one of the members?
Sure, Honorable Denita. Smith, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, so the terms of reference, we can actually create a Google Doc, and few of us can start working on it, and then others can feed into it. Already, our Honorable Sanchu Saraka from Mongolia have done some work, and she has some documents. So we can put it all together and get into frame the terms of reference. Then the other thing is also, if we can have our meetings, regular meetings, like the next follow-up meeting can be in the next 2 months or maximum 3 months. Once we finish the terms of reference, by then if we can complete the terms of reference, something like that, if it will keep the group going, and it will also keep the work go to the next levels. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Smita, and thank you so much for mentioning that there's already a draft. I don't know, sorry, I don't know the draft that exists, whether it's about the in-person meeting in Mongolia, or it's a draft of term of reference for the network. But of course, I would invite Honorable Sakara to share that document with me, and I'm happy circulate it to all members once we have a look at it. I also like the idea of working from Google document. In terms of accessibility, I would also want to confirm from each member that if Google documents are accessible to everybody. Again, like I've mentioned, we know that there are members who would have loved to join today's meeting, but they were not able to join. So feel free to share with us names of those who would like to join the network. It's still not structured, and that's why we would want to move forward with developing the terms of reference. And so we are welcoming as many members of parliament as possible. So I think let's also invest in mobilizing the other members of parliament to join. I'm not seeing a hand up. And of course, I agree with you in terms of regular meetings. I believe that, again, it's important to just continue engaging and sharing updates from national level. We are happy as the International Disability Alliance to facilitate the platform for bi-monthly or whichever timelines that you agree as honorable members to be meeting as we continue to structure the initiative. So I'll stop there. I don't know. I don't see any other hand. For intervention, I know that Honorable Denita has volunteered to contribute to the process of development of the terms of reference. And of course, Smita has offered to share with us the document that has been developed by Sakara as part of the starting point of developing the scope of work for the initiative. Do I have another volunteer who would like to contribute to the process of structuring the network through development of a terms of reference?
Some of us have also created a WhatsApp group. A few parliamentarians are there, like nearly 8 parliamentarians are already there. Others are also free to join, and we are already having discussions on the WhatsApp group. I have shared the link for the WhatsApp group chat on the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Smita. I think Smita, I would highly encourage you to join the group that is developing this. You have a lot that is happening, and that is very useful as we structure the network. So of course, this depends on your availability, and so I would it's a humble request that I make to you if you'd like to join the small group. Let me call it the small group that would come up with an initial document that is circulated to all members. Joseph, your hand is up.
Thank you so much, Miriam. This is Joseph Owino. I'm not a member of parliament. I'm joining in regards, I serve with Kenya Disability Parliamentary Association. This is a parliamentary caucus that Honorable Denita Gatti served as a vice chair in the last parliament. And so it consists of members of parliament, both that is members of National Assembly and senators, those with disabilities, who nominated to represent persons with disability, and there are those who are also elected from single constituencies, but have disability and join in. Plus the third option they are given is those who are passionate about championing disability inclusion within parliament, that is in the Kenyan parliament. And so I am part of the secretariat of this caucus called KADIPA. And so I'm inquiring here first to send my apologies of the chair, Honorable Tim Wanyonyi, who chairs the caucus. He was scheduled to join but had a last minute issue that cropped up that made him not to be part and parcel of this meeting. Two is to appreciate the formation of such a network, because it's very, very crucial. It's coming up so that at least it gets to support the caucusing of members of parliament from different countries to push together the implementation of disability inclusion in as far as this is concerned. And so 3 is to ask, if at all, in as far as this is being brought up, how can the secretariats be involved in such affairs so that they get to support members of parliament, because you understand that sometimes they're hugely engaged in pursuing their legislative duties, but it is us, the secretariat, who come in handy to ensure that they are brought to book in as far as the involvement in such engagements are concerned. And so wanted to raise that so that at least it's clear, so that at least whenever the development of the scope of work is done and any other affairs that come in, and as far as this network affairs is concerned, then at least the members are not left outside. So thank you so much, and I appreciate for your consideration and your attention to this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joseph, and thank you for joining us. I agree with you on the support to be extended to members of parliament. Again, we would be reaching out to the different secretariat, and we believe that our honorable members will also be able to support us in getting in touch with the secretariat as we move forward with the initiative. I think the most important, the important step today was getting the buy-in, which I believe that members of parliament who have joined us today have expressed a strong commitment to ensure a strong commitment to the establishment of the initiative. And as I've mentioned, moving forward, it will be great to be able to develop terms of reference, and from that, then we can move forward on the different issues, and of course that as we move in a more structured way. Let me use that. I'm using structured so many times, meaning that we have a point of reference on our objective and our goals, so that we make sure that from the beginning or from the initial stage, we know what we really want to achieve from the network. And at this stage, I take note of Padam. Padam, who is the member of National Assembly from Nepal, has also expressed interest to contribute to the process of development of the terms of reference. So members, if you allow me, I have Honorable Denita Gati from Kenya. As part of the network. I have Padam from Nepal. I'm wondering, I haven't seen, is Honorable Eric Zun in the call for Latin America, perhaps someone from Latin America to join as well, that group that creates, so we have Asia, we have Africa, and if we could have someone from Latin America. Is it Latin America? Yes. I think my geography is not one of the best. Honorable Eric, soon, can you hear me? Okay, we can follow up with him, but members, if you're in agreement, I think we can have a representative from Africa, Asia, and Latin America, so we can have free representation for the development of the terms of reference, and then we can circulate once we have a draft document. In terms of timeline, based on your availability, I would like quickly to hear, would you like to meet? I know that the holidays are coming. The Christmas holidays are around the corner. We only have October, and then for some of us who come from Kenya, December 1st, once we are done with International Day of Persons with Disabilities, we close all our computers and go for holiday, but I don't know about the other regions. So I wanted to check with everyone whether in the next 2 months we can embark on the assignment of developing the scope of work, circulate, take your time to review that in the next 2 months, and then we reconvene again. Thank you, Smitha, for joining the team. I've seen your message on the chat. We can reconvene again, perhaps mid-February, to allow people to take their holidays and then come back again. And of course, please guide me in terms of your parliamentary sessions and the best time that works for you to ensure that we align accordingly to your different calendars and ensure that we meet and mobilize as many members of parliament as possible. I'm waiting for thumbs up so that I can hand over the microphone to our last speaker who is going to conclude this meeting. Honorable members, does that sound like a way forward for us?
I support the sentiments. February next year would be good, would be ideal. And then we are suggesting probably another meeting for all of us, or just for?
I think for the small group, I'll be in touch with you so that we can have perhaps an initial meeting before we break for holiday. So I will reach out with you with options of calendar dates that we can explore just to discuss on the way forward.
So I would support the February meeting. I don't know what my colleagues think.
I got a love emoji from Smitha. I got thumbs up from Saraka. I got thumbs up from Joseph. Do I have a quorum? I think as the Speaker of the National Assembly today, I should declare that I have a quorum and therefore agree that the way forward is that the smaller group will be able to meet before we break for Christmas holiday to discuss the assignment of developing terms of reference. We agree collectively as members of parliament, we will continue mobilizing our colleagues to ensure that we get buy-in from as many members of parliament as possible. And finally, in terms of timeline, we are looking at the next meeting being in February, and of course, having circulated the first draft of our terms of reference. Does that sound okay? Great. Thank you. I know it's now 8 minutes past 6 p.m. Kenyan time. It's 8 minutes past 4 p.m. Central European time, and I want to thank everybody who has joined today's call. And to close this discussion, I would like to invite Honorable Denita Gatti to speak to offer the closing remarks on behalf of the parliamentarians. And thereafter, I will invite Michael, who is the head of political work at CBM, to close the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miriam. And I want to take this opportunity to thank the organizers, all of you, IDA, and the Global Disability Summit, and everybody who has been here, and partners, including Unite. I am very glad to see and to meet my colleagues in Parliament. I know we have quite a lot of work to do, but I think for me, this is a beginning of a wonderful work that is going to happen, because I personally have been a member of Parliament for persons with disabilities in Kenya. And as a parliamentarian, I think my colleagues will also accept that it is very difficult to find a disabled parliamentarian. So we are just beginning to see how we can break the barriers and how we can make sure that our parliaments are responsive and inclusive and everything that makes it beautiful for us to execute and to do our work and our policies. And for me, I really look forward to a journey that is going to ensure that we really give effect and actualize, especially Article 29 of the CRPD, which really gives us power and authority to really do politics and participate in public life. So for me, I'm happy that this is a beginning of a great journey that is going to emancipate and empower ourselves and our colleagues who also will want to do politics, and to make sure that at least we help to actualize Article 29 of the CRPD So this is exciting, and I really look forward to to participating and to see every other person, and to have a network, a global network that really helps us to push this. And I'm glad that we are all from around the globe, so we are all agents, we are all ambassadors of our our parliaments and our countries, in terms of ensuring that the Berlin Declaration is actually actualized as we move forward. And I thank the partners that are walking this journey with us, and for identifying members of parliament as critical agents. I think we have been the missing link in all these matters of disability, and so it is good that we are beginning to see ourselves and the power that we hold as MPs, as parliamentarians, to be able to push this agenda from a political point of view, to ensure that we move forward. So thank you very much for the opportunity. And on behalf of the Kenya team, and my team also, I want to thank everybody, and I really look forward to our next meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Denita. I would like now to hand over the floor to Michael from CBM, Head of Political Work.
Thank you, Miriam. Excellencies, honorable members of parliament, friends from IDA, colleagues. I'm absolutely impressed on what happens in the past 2 hours here. You all know advocacy usually is a marathon run, not a sprint. And it is a half year ago that we had our first side event while the Global Disability Summit. Now we are here. We have volunteers to build up a steering group. We have a WhatsApp group. We have the first venue for our first in-person meeting, for your first in-person meeting, Mongolia. Great, never been there. So it looks like it can run. It can run. It starts probably as a small network, but it will become bigger and bigger over time, I'm sure. And I'm sure you will play an important role to figure out that disability, people with disabilities, inclusion of people with disabilities is not about charity, it's about human rights. And from CBM side, I can say, if you want us to be by your side, if you want us to support you further on strategically, technically, whatever, please reach out to us. We are happy to follow this process further. It sounds really promising to me. And I don't want to stop without saying thank you, a big thank you to Miriam for the excellent moderation. Fantastic job. And really curious how this networks goes on. Thank you all. Bye.
You. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Miriam. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
you,
you, all of
everybody. See
you.
you soon.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you very much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.